There's a specific kind of silence that doesn't come from an empty room. It comes from an empty contact list. You didn't wake up today and decide to burn every bridge. You didn't plan to become the cold one. It happened slowly. One ignored text, one declined invitation, one realization that the person you are holding on to was never actually holding on to you. The world calls it a breakdown. I call it a breakthrough. Welcome to Momentum Glow. Today, we aren't talking about loneliness. We're talking about the psychology of strategic isolation. If you've recently cut people off or you're on the verge of ghosting your entire social circle, pay attention. You aren't losing your mind. You're finally finding your worth. Let's look at the math. Every human interaction has a cost. It costs focus, it costs emotional currency, and it costs time. The only asset you can't earn back. For years, you've been running a deficit. You were the one driving hours for someone else's crisis. You were the one checking in. You were the reliable one. But then, you had a 3 a.m. moment. You hit your breaking point. You reached out. And what did you get? Silence. Or worse, sorry you're going through that text. That's the moment the equation changed. Your brain stopped seeing friends and started seeing liabilities. You realized you were pouring from an empty cup into vessels that were never meant to be filled. They just wanted to be serviced. This isn't just feelings, it's biology. Your nervous system is smarter than your conscious mind. It learned a pattern. Trust equals pain. Vulnerability equals abandonment. Every time you let someone in, you ended up holding the pieces alone. Your brain eventually says, enough. It triggers a defense mechanism called avoidant self-preservation. You aren't socially anxious, you are socially selective. You started controlling the only variable you could, the exit. You cut them off before they could cut you. It's not self-sabotage, it's a tactical retreat to save what's left of your sanity. They want the old you back. You know who that is? The version of you that was easy to exploit, the version that said yes when they wanted to say no, the version that apologized for things they didn't do. When you stop being available, people call you cold. They say you've changed. Good, you should change. If you aren't changing, you're decaying. They don't miss you, they miss the convenience you provided. Read that again. They don't miss the person, they miss the service. Momentum Glow isn't about staying in the dark, it's about using the silence to build. If you have cut people off, you now have a massive surplus of energy. Here is how you spend it. Step 1, audit the silence. Don't fill the gap with scrolling. If you cut off 3 toxic friends, you just gained 5 hours a week. Put that into a skill, a side hustle, or a squat rack. Step 2, define the boundary. A wall keeps everyone out. A boundary has a gate. Decide exactly what entry requirements a person needs to have in your life. Respect, consistency, reciprocity. If they don't have the ticket, they don't get in the stadium. Step 3, kill the guilt. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your absence. Closure is something you give yourself, not something you beg for from someone who never listened anyway. A warning. Silence is addictive. Once you realize how peaceful it is to be alone, you might never want to come back. But remember, isolation is for recalibration, not for permanent residence. Use this time to heal, but don't let your heart turn to stone. Use the walls to build a fortress, not a prison. The loneliest you ever felt wasn't when you were alone. It was when you were sitting in a room full of people who didn't see you. The physical isolation you're feeling now, that's just the reality finally matching the feeling. You aren't the villain in their story. You're just the character that stopped following their script. You're not broken, you're clear. You're not closed off, you're protected. Stop accepting crumbs and calling it a feast. If the table doesn't serve you, walk away. You are now in the Great Reset. Build your empire in the quiet. This is Momentum Glow.